I'm the co-founder for Graveyard Shift Paranormal Investigations. I began my paranormal journey years ago as a child when something reached for me in the middle of the night and grabbed me and tried to pull me through a wall.
My name is Dan LaFave and I'm the founder of the Graveyard Shift located here in Texas. When I was a little boy, I had a lot of mysterious things happen to me, things that grabbed out to me. One of the first things I did was my mother had an old transistor radio when I was about 6 years old that I started playing around with. I used to go between the radio stations. I used to listen to the static. I never knew what was drawing it to me, but I can tell you a lot of it had to do with the different voices and noises that I heard coming out in between the channels. A lot of this just reached out to me. These were not your standard radio stations. These were actual voices communicating with me.
And I asked myself, maybe there's something more out there than what I thought before. I've always had an interest in the paranormal, but really didn't know how to go about exploring it or finding out more information.
My name's Donnie Dixon. I also go by the Paranormal Biker. I am a member of the Ghost Riders team, Paranormal Biker. I go around on a motorcycle doing paranormal investigations.
Hey guys, my name is Jay Villarreal, also known as Jayster. As a paranormal investigator, I am looking for the scientific perspective of strange occurrences. I call myself a divergent investigator because I like to expand my thoughts by simply looking at different ways to get things done.
My name's Harvey. I'm from the paranormal group called Graveyard Shift Paranormal Investigations. I've been with the team for about 3 years now. I do retail for a living, and I had one of the members come in to make a payment. Employees and I were talking about the TV shows that you see on TV. You interested in the paranormal? I said, yeah, you know, I really do like it. I hadn't found a team that I wanted to be with, though, but he's like, well, man, I'm a paranormal investigator. I was like, wow, you know, I was really interested. I said, you know, where do you do these things at? And he's like, well, we do them here out of Harlingen. Here's my card. He gave me his card, and of course it had the YouTube site, and it also had the Facebook site. So needless to say, I ran and I went on to Facebook, and I added him as a friend, which was GSPI, Graveyard Shift Paranormal's Facebook. Watching, you know, their videos and stuff like that on YouTube. Actually read one day that they were going to be doing a public investigation for Halloween at the Stillman House in Brownsville, Texas. I jumped at the chance.
My name's JC, aka Creeper. I've been intrigued with the paranormal ever since I had paranormal happen to me, and wanted more questions.
My name's Edward De La Rosa. I work with Graveyard Shift Paranormal Investigations. What I do, I'm a federal security officer. I doing that for about 6 years already. With paranormal, I've been in it about 3 years, per se. I've had a year with Graveyard Shift Paranormal Investigations. 2 years on my own with a friend of mine that would help me out sometimes once in a while. The paranormal has always interested me a lot per se. Things I've seen.
My name is Wilma Dixon. Everybody calls me Willie. I am married to the paranormal biker, Donnie Dixon. I work at Adventures in Learning here in DeSoto, Missouri as a preschool teacher. The first time I went on a ghost hunt is in 2010. I went with a team called Jeffco Paranormal. I absolutely loved it.
So about 8 years ago, before I met my husband, I decided to embark on the journey of finding a team where I could learn more about the paranormal. I've always had an interest in it. A lot of religious reasons. I have a close relationship, you know, spiritually with God, and I wanted to find out what was here for me, for what He wanted to do for me. And it was more than just being a Christian. I wanted to search the answers about what is here. I think there's more to life than what we're looking at. It's just like Christopher Columbus. If they told him he was crazy and they told him he was a wizard or whatever, they never would have sailed around the world to discover the rest of it.
A lot of people ask me why I explore the paranormal and supernatural. A lot of this is a simple question to me. I feel like I explore this area because it's always been there. The paranormal and supernatural is something that's reached out to me, my wife, and our team, the Graveyard Shift, over several years. We're here for a reason, because we explore mysterious, unseen, sometimes scary things that are out there in this world. A lot of this has to do with exploration of the unknown, the mysterious side, the unseen picture that many in the real world don't know about.
I've always been interested in the Bigfoot and UFOs, chupacabras, stuff like that. I got interested in the spiritual part of it when I had a pet die. And after he died, I started seeing this little black ball off in the corner of my eyes, and cabinet doors would be open when I knew they were closed. Just little things that were out of place, you know, and I knew that they weren't right. So I started looking for answers. I started researching, and I just couldn't do it on my own, or didn't think I could. So I started looking for help, and I ended up finding Dan and Connie LaFave out of Harlingen with the Graveyard Shift Paranormal Investigations. And I started talking with them and ended up being one of their team members.
Let you think freely while working on the task and gather ideas that may or may not have relations to the problem. I also like to analyze and evaluate every single idea that comes to mind. I like to narrow them down and use different techniques to solve to whatever it is problems that we're looking for.
So went out there. That, of course, was the first place that I got my first really good EVP. We were 5 minutes into the investigation, and I did pop up a really, really good EVP of a lady talking, actually saying hi. And, of course, I was hooked. And here I am 3 years later, still with them, still going strong.
I've seen shadow figures, EVPs, I've taken pictures of video footage that, you know, I've experienced with my crew. I've had a lot of experiences. I've had people come up to me at work, you know, with their experiences that they've had. For instance, I've had this one guy come up to me where I work at. You know, they have canine dogs there. And he said for one day he was washing one of the kennels out, and he got pulled by his forearm. He thought it was another agent. He ends up taking off, running out of there, leaving the water and the lights on and everything. Turns out he gets a sharp pain in his forearm, so when he's walking out the door, he closes everything to get in the car. He puts a light on his forearm, and he has bite marks of a little... appears to be a little kid, male, female.
So me and my brother, along with my brother Romulo, decided to make a group called Rio Grande Valley Ghost Hunters. And months later, I had gotten somebody, his name was Dan LaFave, and met him on MySpace, and said that if we would join his group, and we said, let me talk to my brother, and if he says yes, we'll join your group. Ever since then, I've been with the group ever since. And what makes me different through all the rest of my other counterparts, that I hear things that ordinary people can't hear. I can hear disembodied voices.
I had seen that Donnie was looking for team members for his team during Catch Up Paranormal, and luckily he accepted me. So that is when I first met him. I have been ghost hunting since then. I love ghost hunting because it's the thrill of it, the unknown. I always wondered about life after death, and now I know there is.
So I believe that this is a scientific as well as a religious expedition for myself, as well as my colleagues. I've always loved the paranormal and continue to want to explore it scientifically. About 7 years ago, when I first joined my first team, I became the lead researcher of the team. And my background as an intelligence analyst in the Army, as well as a paralegal, helped me to learn a little bit more about and to use that experience to explore the paranormal. I learned how to plot and research, plats, discover articles online. There's a lot of great resources online that if you just learn how to use them, you can tap into those resources. I'm always trying to explore new opportunities, new ways to research the paranormal, and I've always particularly loved that aspect, and I guess I'm kind of a history buff that way.
We go to various places throughout Texas. A lot of these places are historical locations. We just love the mystery, the excitement, the adrenaline of everything that we do. The last 8 years that we've been exploring the paranormal have been just fascinating. We started the Graveyard Shift Paranormal team, me and my wife Connie, back in 2008. Since that time, we've been all over Texas. We've explored so many different locations out there that most people don't know about. We have a YouTube channel out there called The Graveyard Shift. Recently, this YouTube channel has gone past 620,000 YouTube views. We started this channel as an entertainment channel, but it has morphed into something more. It just shows the world a lot of what is out there and what we encounter.
And Dan and Connie coached me along, and I started learning stuff, and eventually in the course of life I ended up moving back to Missouri. Once I got back to Missouri, I wanted to keep on with my learning and my research, so I started my own team, Dreamcatcher Paranormal Investigations. And in that course, I met some really good people, some really good friends, and I ended up marrying my best friend, Wilma. Since then, her and I have just, we really enjoy what we do. We really enjoy riding a motorcycle, so we put two together and we continue to do paranormal investigations on a motorcycle.
Let you think freely while working on the task and gather ideas that may or may not have relations to the problem. I also like to analyze and evaluate every single idea that comes to mind. I like to narrow them down and use different techniques to solve to whatever it is problems that we're looking for. I am a ghostwriter.
We've done several places. Of course, the Stillman House in Brownsville, Texas. Helena, Texas. That is maybe 30 minutes out of San Antonio. It is a ghost town. If you ever do get to do Helena, do it. If you get the chance, just do it. Fort Ringgold in Rio Grande City, Texas. Also in Rio Grande City, Texas, we also have Laborde House, which is really, really good. If you get to stay overnight and do an investigation, do it. Gonzales Jail in Gonzales, Texas was awesome to do. And then, of course, San Juan Hotel in San Juan, Texas. Little story about that one. It is abandoned, so we were in there doing our overnight investigation, and Connie LaFave, which is the co-founder of the team, caught a really awesome picture of a shadow figure. You can actually catch that on our webpage, GSPI. You can catch that picture, really good picture, and it was a really good night that night.
Well, I could hear a voice that people can't hear, but they would have to hear it on the EVP, but I could hear it with my own ears. I'm more of an aggressive paranormal investigator. I use provocation to the extreme.
I guess he was so freaked out, he went in and he told other people about it at the other bridges. They came, they told him to come talk to me, which was pretty interesting. He came forward with that and he showed me. He had it purple, but it was still, they were still kind of fresh on his forearm. I told him that's what the paranormal's about. I mean, a lot of people are very, very skeptical, but you got to be there hands-on to see everything, to experience.
I'm an English teacher. About 5-6 years ago, I decided to change my careers, and I love teaching high school. The paranormal is a secret passion of mine that I've always had and wanted to explore, and I love doing it with my colleagues. We always liked riding bikes. Sometimes we've had times in our lives when we didn't either have a bike, or we had a bike, or we had access to a bike. And we've always loved the aspect of motorcycles. And we just kind of, somewhere along the way, combined the two ideas, and we like the opportunity to ride as well as go investigate the paranormal. We're just looking really forward to our future and the expeditions that we were going to encounter.
We're going to venture on to another place, another realm. The Graveyard Shift is going to places that will probably scare you.